does mean a great deal to very many Australians who participate in it and who rejoice in it. And I think we all understand that. It attracts a great stream of people from all over this country and from beyond this country. There have been great winners and great horses, and there have been great races which now belong to the folklore of the Melbourne Cup. It's a great, great event in a nation which loves its sport. And now let me announce the winner and the winner's connections. The winner is Hyperno. The owners are Mr. and Mrs. T.L. North, Mr. and Mrs. G. Herskew, and Dr. R. Lake. The trainer is Bart Cummings, formerly of Adelaide and now of Sydney. This is Bart Cummings' 7th Melbourne Cup, a record. He won previously with Light Fingers in 1965, Galilee in 1966, Red-Handed in 1967, Think Big in 1974 and 75, and Golden Black 1977. The rider is Harry White of Melbourne. Harry White is one of Australia's best distance riders, and he has now won 4 cups. His previous wins were on Think Big in 1974 and 1975 and Arwood last year. And finally, let me mention the strapper, Mr. Frank Wantara. Well, you don't surprise me. Let me present you again. Take care of the plate. Thank you very much. Yes, I'd love to. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, Your Excellency the Governor-General, Your Highnesses, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you it's a great thrill for me, and I'm certain for my other partners, to stand here today on this wonderful occasion, having won the Melbourne Cup. It's a thrill, frankly, that I never expected to feel in my lifetime, but I can assure you that it's one that, if it ever happened again, it would be something out of this world. Ladies and gentlemen, the horse, as you know, is a 6-year-old, and he had the misfortune last year where he couldn't run because of some leg damage, but he's come up as a 6-year-old, and I believe his effort today was a most courageous one. We're very fortunate, of course, in having Mr. Bart Cummings. I think this is Bart's 7th Melbourne Cup, so we had something going for us. And to Mr. Cummings, I'd like to say thank you very much and congratulate you, Bart. It was a great effort. And, of course, Harry White is always there. This is Harry's 4th Melbourne Cup. And to you, Harry, I also say thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little too excited to say any more, except this, that I do thank so many people for remaining in the stands for the presentation. Thank you very much.
presentation after the running of the 1979 Melbourne Cup.
And now the trainer, Mr. Bart Cummings. Well, congratulations. He certainly gave it to me right under the
Your Excellency, Your Highnesses, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's a terrific thrill. I think the biggest thrill of my life was when Light Fingers won the Cup the first time. I probably badly needed it then, and I think I need it more now. And I think this is also equal, just as big a thrill. And I'd like to thank all those that helped me to prepare the horse for this and all the rest over the years. And I also some regret for Roy for not riding the horse. I must know how he feels now. And I'd like to thank the kind words of Mr. North and certainly Harry the way he rode the horse. And thank you very much.
The winning jockey, Harry White. It's becoming monotonous.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, committee members, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the owners of Hyperno, because up until a week ago I never had a mount in the Melbourne Cup, but the same thing happened last year and I won. So I thank them very much, and not a bad sort of trainer either that trains the horse. He's only won about 7 of them. So I've got to congratulate him. And I must congratulate a friend of mine at this stage. I promised him I would if I won it, because Dr. Ray, the owner of Hyperno, sent me a film to study of his last start in the Melbourne Cup when he was 3rd. So Peter Keenan took me to the Essendon Football Club, and we were able to view the videotape of the Cup 2 years ago, which I really think helped me a lot in knowing this horse today to win. So I thank Peter Keenan very much. And a friend of mine, Frank Campbell up at Gisborne, for helping me with Think Big. Thank you.
Right, Oscar, can I come back to us, please?
And there we see the presentation by the Governor-General, Sir Zelman Cowen, following the 1979 Melbourne Cup. The winner, Hyperno. One of the sadder parts of today's race was what happened to Dulcify. Peter Lovett with Brent Thompson, the jockey.
Brent, that would be probably the most disappointing moment of your riding career.
I would say so, Pete, yeah.
Exactly how bad is it?
Well, I couldn't tell. There was his leg wasn't broken to the extent of a shatter or anything like that. But you don't know what's wrong inside. His offside leg, when they galloped on him, it tore the chestnut right off it.
The back leg?
Yeah, the back leg, and there's more damage done to the near side leg, though.
Well, obviously, that's the reason. Now, what of his future?
Well, you don't know. It could end today.
Yeah. Well, you've seen horses in similar situations. What are the odds about him making a comeback?
Well, Peter, I don't, as I say, I don't know exactly what's wrong with him. When I got off him, I had a look at his back leg, but the only damage I could see was to his chestnut where it was torn off. But he couldn't really move his back leg.
It's been a tragic race for you because last year So Called started favourite and also broke down. Better luck next year.
Thanks, Peter.
Right over.
Well, Peter, I can see Bart Cummings on his way over here now to talk with us, and then Harry White will follow up. Interesting, when Bart just gave a wry smile earlier when you interviewed him, and you said, will we see you this year? What about it?
Yes, well, we are seeing you, Bart.
Yes, Peter, that was a tremendous result. My words fail me.
What? After 7 of them?
Yeah, well, the first one was a terrific thrill, and I really needed a win right now, and it just came at the right time, Peter.
It's remarkable that Hyperno wore blinkers for the first time, you as trainer. Any reason for that?
Well, I always believe when I can take a horse over, I find out all his peculiarities for myself, and I wasn't fully convinced until last week when I saw him, the Governor's Handicap Moonee Valley. Just wouldn't let go. He was close enough, but he just didn't put his heart into it. The Blinkers, since then, obviously, has improved the horse because he has had winning experience with him in the past.
Did Roy Higgins have the choice of ride?
Oh, yes. Roy was fully booked for the ride, provided he agreed to ride it. And last Tuesday, he elected for Salamander, which shows you what a very good judge he is. Well, there's nothing between it.
You're tipping the bucket on him?
Not really. Oh, no. Well, he had to pick of 2 horses in the race, and he chose half inch between the 2 of them. So he was a very good judge.
Well, the best horse won on the day, but congratulations. What of the future for High Puna?
Well, I don't know, really, Peter. I have to discuss it with the owners. There's 2 or 3 of them there to... there is a thought that he may go to Perth. Well, that'll depend entirely on his soundness from now on.
Well, I'm going to tag this by saying, Bart, we'll see you back next year.
Thank you,
Good on you, Bart. OK. And now Harry White to come over and talk with us. Harry, going right throughout Australia and New Zealand as well this year, direct. How's that?
Well, you make me a movie star, Phil.
Well, you are.
That's terrific.
What do you think of your chances?
Well, I was always... well, in the race, I was having a glorious run in the race. But I thought after he raced here Saturday, I thought he'd be hard to beat. But I just only knowing the horse, and you know, he gave me no trouble at all today. He was very flexible.
One thing about it, Harry, you seem to make an effort a bit earlier today than I imagine you might have thought. About 800 metres from home, you started to get a shuffle on your past Dulcify. There's the replay there. Yeah. That's about where you'd made an effort to pass Dulcify, coming to the 600-metre mark, turning into the straight. Now you're up there.
Yeah, there was you'll notice how the pace clapped on here at the 5. It went from one race to another, like a sprint race, the last 5 furlongs, and which was terrific. I was able to get out from behind Dulcify, as you said, was weakening, and I ran up in behind a wall of horses, and I thought, well, I'm right in this today, you know.
Well, at this stage, you're in front now. Roy's getting along on the inside.
Roy got a glorious run on the fence. I saw Roy dive down there for the run, and I knew I had the other 2 covered, but I wasn't sure about Salamander, who you said was getting a glorious run on the inside there.
Well, you've got about 100 metres to go now. What are your thoughts?
There's nothing between us. Although Roy's horse, I was surprised how determined Salamander fought on. And if anything, I thought he headed me near the post.
Well, it was a developed print. Did you really think you had one?
I did, Des.
Yeah, well, that's no worries, Harry.
Here you can see here my horse's head's in front, but he carries it a little bit high, and I wasn't positive whether he had it down on the line, you know.
I know we're all superlatives for Bart Cummings, but what a great trainer he is.
Not a bad sort of trainer. He's only won 7 of these.
And you'll won 4 of them.
Yeah.
Well, Harry, I have with me Mr. James Mason, and no doubt you've heard of this great actor, and he's coming in this year to present the Worth's Gold Whip to you, the 4th one that you have received. It commenced in 1888, and it's the 92nd Gold Whip. Harry White, Mr. James Mason.
Have you got another hand free?
I have, Mr. Mason, yes, thank you.
Now, you need another one to carry this, because it's my great pleasure and honour on behalf of the Worth family to present you with the winner's Golden Whip. It's a very special occasion, I don't have to tell you, because it's the 4th time that you, Mr. White, won the Melbourne Cup. That's terrific. At the same time, it's a great, great day for me, because it's a great honour to do something for a performer, because I'm always on the side of performers. And I may say that it's a great day for my wife, whom you may not have met, because she's a veteran of the Worth Circus.
Right.
Which not many people can say.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mason.
Great honour to present you with the Golden Whip.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Mason, especially to accept this from a man of your standards. I'm very pleased to accept it from you. And the Worth family, who I know personally, are wonderful people, and to win 4 and you know, this is a magnificent trophy, and I'm just so pleased. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Michael.
Well, there's so much activity in the mounting yard right now. You can see it just everywhere around us. We will take you around the course shortly to give you some idea also of what some of the fashions look like for those of you who may have just joined us for the Melbourne Cup. But first, we better have this break.
The 1979 Melbourne Cup, exclusively on the O10 network, associated stations around Australia and via satellite to TV1 New Zealand.
At United we care.
It's very exciting, Melbourne Cup Day 1979. If you've just joined us or joined us just for the Melbourne Cup, let's just look back at what other sites around the course. Annette Allison went round a little earlier and recorded various interviews with exciting and interesting people.
It happens every year. I've seen it many times. There's something in the air, excitement no one can define. springtime in Australia. It's time to try your luck. First Tuesday in November, they run the Melbourne Cup. Oh, the Melbourne Cup brings Australia to a stop. From Darwin down to Hobart, from Perth up to Ayers Rock. The nation's in a fever, you're bound to be caught up. First Tuesday in November, they run the Melbourne Cup. Well, it all began with Archer in 1861. He left the brave wood pasture for the walk to Melbourne town. 500 miles he journeyed, and then he galloped too, and he carried off the first 2 cups, a champion through and through. Oh, the Melbourne Cup brings Australia to a stop. From Darwin down to Hobart, from Perth up to Ayers Rock. The nation's in a fever, you're bound to be caught up. First Tuesday in November, they run the Melbourne Cup. Now many will remember the winners of the past, Comic Cord and Hallmark, mighty rising fast.
At Ansett Airlines, we fly all sorts of people to their special places for sporting and special interest holidays. So if you or your group want to see it, or do it, or try to do it, then come with us, the specialists.
Back at Flemington, time is running tight on us. We'll bring you those interviews with Annette shortly, but meanwhile we're lining up for the start of race 6. And in fact, the horses are now coming into the mounting yard, so Phil, you better tell us about them, but watch out behind you.
I'll tell you what, there's one right behind me. One right behind me there, Michael. And nearly went over the top of me. But I think we'd almost forgotten about the 6th event on the program until this stage, but now we have the hallmark filter over 1,400 metres. Now, let's have a look at the market there, Graham.
Slight, it's a bit of a difference between the Tate and the bookies. There's not much between Palmyra and Tired Princess with the books. Next out is Caledonian Bell and Duckatoon, and further out to Enticing Eyes and Flanders Fields.
I do, that was hard luck about Dulcify too.
Oh, gee, wasn't it?
Well, number 1, Enticing Eyes, R.J. Skelton.
Yes, trained by Jack McGreal, and a last start second at Werribee after a win in the Wiggle Handicap during the Caulfield Carnival. It's certainly going to be hard to beat, I'm sure, even though it's a bit long in the odds.
Well, number 2, Bart Cummings said in his interview this morning it was one for the ladies, Palmyra.
Yes, shooting for 3 wins for the day. Phil too certainly come back into form. 11th of 18 in the Caulfield Guineas. But this is a much weaker race, and her previous form in Sydney was quite good, so she must be respected.
Number 3, Tired Princess.
Only caught in the last couple of strides at the Valley. Always runs a good race, sure to be close up again. And Jeff Murphy hasn't won a race today, but he won't be far away, I'll bet, in this.
4 is Caledonian Bell, G. Murphy.
Failed at the last start, went 14th in the 1,000 guineas at Caulfield, and when the 1,600 metres was also probably too far for her, but her previous form was good and she must be respected.
Number 5 is Delicacy, J. Miller.
Knocked up badly at Werribee after showing a lot of speed, but prior to that had been second at Albury. It's hard to see her running this ride out the 1,400 metres, but just the same, harken back to her winning a couple in Valley and Flemington early in the season.
Number 6 is Duckatoon, R. Lloyd.
Comes from South Australia with a big reputation, Phil. She's won of the last 3 starts. The company wasn't quite as strong as she'll be meeting today, but she's won these races well, and she'll come in with a big chance.
7, Flanders Fields, B. Thompson.
Flanders Fields, owned by the chairman of the VRC, or part owned, and let's hope it can win for him.
Number 8, Classy Bell, B. Clements.
Part owned by the chairman of VRC, last in the Caulfield 1,000 guineas, but could go better on a good track here.
See, Roy Higgins just went past us a moment ago on the horse and said losers are allowed to cry, aren't they?
That's right, he did too. I can know how he'd feel, but he might get this one in and might help be a little bit of a concession.
So close, but yet so far.
Yeah, Lane Poppy's the next one, Phil, and pace in always thereabouts.
Being ridden by Pat Hyland, and Pat would be a disappointed jockey too going out there. Number 10, Boone's Queen is a scratching. Number 11, Lady McKellar, G. Willets.
coming back to 1,400 metres, Phil, it'll probably suit her. She found the 1,600 metres too far at her last start, went 7 behind. It's fantastic at the Valley, but before that she was a good winner over 1,200 metres at Caulfield.
Number 12 is the talker, Greg Hall.
And it was in that race that she beat the talker, Graham, and it wasn't much. It was only a neck in it, so let's hope that this horse, who's only lightly raced, could do some good here.
13, Lido Girl, Wayne Trelaw.
Raced by the treasurer of the VRC, Mr. Ken Cox. Lido Girl, they were a little bit disappointed with her ninth at Moonee Valley, but I thought it wasn't a bad run and she'll improve today.
And now 14, Mirabilia, he didn't.
Trained by former leading rider Brian Gilders, and it's a handy filly who's usually there or thereabouts and was third at Werribee recently.
15, Aquitonian in Barrett.
Well, she's been racing in much weaker company and was third at Donald at her last start, Phil, so it's hard to have her in this.
And 16, Battle Chariot, D Short.
One of Jeff Murphy's well-bred fillies, but racing below this class with only a third at a maiden at Maui recently.
Well, Michael, a little bit of an anti-climax, but I suppose we're back in business again.
Yeah, yes, I don't think you should say that, Phil. There's still a lot of people out here who are still going to have a lot of fun for the rest of the afternoon, and I'm sure we can provide that also through television. Right now, I believe Rob Astbury in the studio has a few statistics for us.
Yes, thank you, Mike. And now let's check all the details, TAB details, here in Victoria for the Melbourne Cup. The winner was number 2, Hyperno, trained by Bart Cummings and Harry White, the rider. $4.15 the win, $1.40 the place. Second, number 4, Salamander, $1.70. And third, number 12, Red Nose, paid $1.75. Officially fourth, number 14, Harburg. Officially fifth, number 6, Cubicade. The Quinella, $19.85, $19.85. The running double on course, $242.30. And the trifecta for 2, 4 and 12 paid $1,115.30. $1,115.30. The time was 3:21.8 and the margins a short half head by a length and 3/4. Now the extra double for 9, Red Coral, and 2, Hyperno, paid $25.25. No sub required in the first leg, and number 1, Dulcify, was the second leg sub. Incidentally, Dulcify broke down in the straight and did not finish. What was the problem? We don't know yet. All right, well, now we're standing by. Incidentally, there is a late scratching in race 7. Race 7, number 11 is Chasseur, scratched at 2:15. And now for the next, here's Mike Schulberger.
Lots more activity. No anti-climax at this point, as Phil was saying. People still seem to be enjoying themselves plenty. I would say perhaps they've also by now got a little bit of grog in them too.
No. Well, Michael, I didn't mean an anti-climax in the true sense of the word.
I know what you meant.
It was a tremendously exciting period. While the Cup was on, after it, we had a disappointing period, of course, with Dulcify. And I suppose with after that tremendous excitement, with the adrenaline running for everyone, it does feel a little letdown, but it's coming up again.
Oh, sure. But so it must. We've got another 3 races to go yet.
Let's have a look at this. People now starting to relax. And I guess between now and later on this evening, they'll relax even more.
Yes, I think they might. When I sort of wandered here, there's that lovely balloon as we see it. When one of those took off, the Schweppes one took off before, was quite spectacular. So while we peruse, while we just wait for the start of the next, perhaps let's have a little entertainment, or at least to meet some of the people who are here. Danny LaRue, for example. Annette Allison had a few words with him just a little while ago. Over to Annette.
Danny LaRue, I have finally grabbed you away from all of those adoring women over there to come and talk to us on camera.
All the beautiful ones.
Yes.
I'm furious.
Why?
I should have come in a frock. At least I've been taller. That's the only way to win. They're marvellous, aren't they? Some outrageous outfits, some very glamorous outfits. I love the way. Well, I love the way everybody goes to so much trouble. It's exciting in these days of all the drab world, and see all these lovely ladies and the kids with their funny hats. I'm excited, like a schoolboy outing for me, because I've literally grown up in England with the Melbourne Cup, and I'd never be so. Today, I feel very lucky to be here.
Oh, that's lovely. We're very lucky to have you here too.
Lovely.
What do you think of the atmosphere? Is it anything compared to the English Derby? Or
Ascot? No, it's a much bigger turnout, and it's happier. You see, in England, they're still a little bit toffee-nosed. Here, everybody, even in the grey tops, you see them with their lovely picnics and their eskies kids with the champagne and the cans of beer, they let themselves go more, which I prefer. It's a nice, easy day, and everybody's smiling and saying, good day, and I like that. It's very nice. It makes you feel very welcome.
This is the most fabulous outfit. Prue Acton, I couldn't think of anyone better to be wearing the most marvellous outfit at the Cup. Would you like to describe it for me?
Well, it's pure 1980s. I feel very much that's a whole new thing happening for the 80s. It's fitness, it's health, and so the clothes should reflect that. The broad shoulders, the slim line, tight waist, so on, a good healthy body.
So would you like to tell me what you've seen in the way of hats today?
Well, I've seen some lovely little pillboxes and head-hugging hats with long feathers and roses, and they look very attractive, and of course they're easy to keep on in the wind, I suppose. I don't think I've seen so many of the larger ones out today.
Probably because it's a bit blowy.
That's right.
Today.
Enid Allison with some of the people here at the Cup. And I would think that by now the horses must be getting pretty close for the start of race 6. So, Clem, you'd better take it.
Yes, it is getting very close, and there's number 5 in the race book, which is Delicacy, ridden by Dale Short, 13 Duckatoon.
Yes, and you see Duckatoon gave in.
And congratulations to Mr. Andrew Harmon and the other members of the winning syndicate, and to Neil Hodgson, the trainer, and the jockey. And I'd like Andrew Harmon now to come forward, if you would. It's a pleasure, on behalf of Bayless, to present you with this trophy.
Thank you very much, Mr. May. Your Excellencies, members of the ERC Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure on behalf of my racing partners, Jeff and Dot Tucker, my wife Valerie, to accept this lovely trophy kindly presented by Avis. I'd like to thank our trainer Neil Hodgson for preparing the horse in such great condition to win this race, and our jockey Pat Trotter for riding a beautiful race. Thank you very much.
All right. What about Kevin?
I'd like to ask Mr. Neil Hodgson, the trainer, who has now, by the way, won this race twice, to put the rug on the horse. Neil?
And there we see the presentation following race 7, the Avis 1200. And now time to meet another special guest here on this Melbourne Cup Day, Eleanor Morton, Miss Australia. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
What sort of a day have you had?
I've had a lovely day. I haven't backed a winner, but I still had a lovely day.
Right now you look cold.
I am. I'm freezing. Below this, I am shaking like a leaf.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
You expected a little warmer weather today, those many ladies?
Well, I was hoping for a little bit warmer. It's quite cold up in the stands. It's a bit better down here in the sunshine.
Tell me this, how long did it take you to select the outfit that you're wearing for today's Cup?
Well, we were very lucky. It seems when you're looking for something special, you can never find what you want. We went into a little shop in Toorak, saw it on the wall, and I said, that's it. It was a bit harder getting a hat because Melbourne, to get a hat in Cup Week is almost impossible.
Is this your first Melbourne Cup?
Yes, my very first.
And how did you find the atmosphere as well as the race itself?
Very good. Very friendly and very excited people.
Is it what you expected?
Yes, although it's all over in a flash sort of thing, you know. You build up to it and then all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes later. Yeah.
Unfortunately, my favourite, Dulcify, had a bit of trouble.
Yes, that is a shame, and that is the sad point of it, unfortunately.
It is very sad, yes.
Well, it's very nice to have seen you. Look, just before you go, why don't you step a little side, because I'm sure people would like to have a look at just what you are wearing and describe it for us. What is it? What's it made of?
It's, I don't know, it's like a jersey material, and it's very cool. Yes, no.
Right, well, thank you very much. You're coming out again on Oaks Day?
No, I've got other official functions. I'd love to, but I'll be in Perth for the Perth Cup. That's the next big meet.
Right, well, thank you, Miss Australia. I hear the national anthem being played at this moment. The Governor-General is obviously leaving.
Thanks, Pete.
We can now see them heading along the straight on their way out of the course. But that doesn't mean today's racing is over. Peter Lovett, on to the racing side of things. Peter.